Hey everyone. Oh my gosh, I don't know what's going on. YouTube is playing games. I didn't even get to go through the whole. That was very strange. Very strange. You know what? We're going to be back in 1 second. Let's go to the opening. We're not going to watch the whole thing, but let's do it properly. Welcome to another Laser live stream. My name is Gil Poznansky. Welcome. Sorry we're running a little bit late. There seem to be some, it's amazing we got the technology to be able to do these kind of live streams every 2 weeks. They're amazing. I love putting them together. I put all of the stuff quickly, well, not quickly, throughout the week. I put it all together. Then I come and I sit down here and I hit the go button and everything connects and YouTube goes, no, we're not going to let you go live yet. But you know what? We were there. We got there. It's a wonderful thing. Thank you so much for coming. And I'm really excited to go through this week's live stream with you. I hope you are all safe. Right now in Melbourne, it's actually really cold. I had to put a jumper on. I got a heater here. Just to keep me warm. I know my friends over in the US right now are going through a bit of a heat wave and they're suffering. So you never know what exactly is going to happen. But that's what I love about life. You always seem to be able to just, something comes out of the corner. You just kind of got to keep going. So normally we would have been up and running by now, but we're going to jump straight into it and see what's going on. But first of all, I do want to go to the chat room and say hello to, I see Adrian's here. Mike and Jen are watching from JB Hi-Fi. I guess I'm hoping you guys are buying something cool. Let us know what it is. Maybe it's a drone. Because I did see a sneaky post just before I came up that you guys were probably that you were cutting some stuff for a drone for Jen. Look at that. First of all, laser cutters, now drones. Oh man, you guys are having fun at your place. That's for sure. Also, Adrian's here. Mike's here, but Mike said he's not too sure how long he's gonna hang out for, which is fine. You can always catch it on the replay, but we love it when you're here. You know what this is all about, so why don't we just jump straight into it and see what is going to happen. I don't want to say I'm kerfuffled. I'm not kerfuffled. We got there. We got the start. But first of all, I do this every stream. I really want to thank the people who make this possible, and that is Darkly Labs, home of the Emblazer range of diode laser cutters. If you're looking at a diode laser for a classroom, for your office, definitely go check them out. They're Australian made. I use the Emblazer here and I absolutely love it, and I know a number of people in the chat room also use them. And we also want to thank Lightburn. Lightburn software has changed the way that makers and creators can use laser cutters. I'm super excited to actually have a conversation with I guess the CEO, the person who started Lightburn in the first place. We're going to do that. I was going to leave it till the end, but we're going to do that next laser live stream. We're actually going to get Jason, who is the man behind Lightburn, on. We're going to have a bit of a chat, a little bit of the history, what's going to be coming forward, why is Lightburn here, and all the rest of it. So I want to thank both Darkly Labs and Lightburn for sponsoring these and making these things possible. Because you know what, as much as I love doing them, just being able to get the momentum of having two companies like the Darkly Labs and Lightburn behind you, it opens doors and makes things so much easier. And I'm super excited to share with you some of the things that I've learned, and we're going to go through a whole bunch of things, not just today but in the future. If you're in the chat room right now, we love it. If you're here, maybe you're watching and you're not in the chat room, just drop in, say hello, let us know where you're from. We do have, because of the time zones, a lot of people from Australia, but we love to see other people around the world come in. In the past, we had people from England, America, Fiji. We had 1 week, Europe. It's amazing to be able to get everyone together, and we do that for a very specific reason. These live streams are not just about sharing projects and knowledge, but we're also building a community. And because of that, we have intentions. And these are the live stream intentions that we put out every week, because we want to build more than just a YouTube video. We want to build a community. You guys know that? Now, so let's share these intentions. The very first intention is that we want to build a creative, interactive laser community. We want to share what we make. We want to see what's possible. We want to push the envelope with the technology. We love doing that, and that's really our first intention. Our second intention is just to support laser users, whether you use the Emblazer, a diode laser, CO2 laser, a fiber laser. We don't care about that. We care about being able to support laser users so they can grow and that they can continue moving forward with their creativity and with their projects. Our third intention is just to share knowledge. You know what? Not everyone knows everything about everything, right? But on this journey, you learn things, and being able to share everything that's going along, that makes us incredibly powerful, and we are able to kind of level up our projects and our knowledge. And that's definitely an intention that we create here, not only on the live stream, but also in the Facebook group. And our fourth intention is just to learn from everyone. And I saw this saying, I'm like, what am I going to put up for learn from everyone? And I'm like, in life, we all learn from everyone. Life is an incredible opportunity for everyone to be able to learn from one another. And that is basically the core foundation of the laser live stream. It's pretty awesome. We would love you to be involved. I actually saw Mal was saying that he's really impressed with Lightburn. I'm always blown away by what's going on there. And Brendan says his first time here, be gentle. Brendan, can you let us know where you're from? Where you're watching from? We'd love to know. It kind of puts a little kind of tack in my mental world map, and it helps me remember where everyone's from. But welcome. We are always gentle. You'll see what's going on here, and hopefully you'll be able to join our community and share some of your projects with all of us here. Mal's got to run. That's not a problem, my friend. I'm glad you still stopped in, and I'm sure you will be able to catch everything on the replay. Listen, stay safe. I know that right now in Australia, we're going through another COVID test, and I know you're an Australian like myself, so just make sure that you're safe, and you know what? We're going to get there. So it's going to be amazing. Bruce is also here. Hey, Bruce, how you doing? I hope everything's going well with you in New Zealand. It's great to see you drop by. Love it when you do. So Brendan's first time, so I'm hoping he caught those intentions. But he's probably going, okay, I can say hello in the chat room. What else is there? So let's go through how you can get involved with the live stream and our community here. So first of all, how do you get involved? The very first thing, if you haven't done it already, is hit that subscribe button, because it helps this project. In the bottom right-hand side, you'll see a photo of me, and it says subscribe. If you hit that, it will add you onto the subscribe. That actually helps with the algorithm when it comes to YouTube, because we're trying to push this out as far and as wide as we can go. So that's definitely the first thing you can do. And also, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, hit that thumbs up. The more interaction we get on these live streams, the easier people are able to find us when they search for things like lasers. So by all means, those are two things that you can absolutely do to help. The other thing that you can do is chat. We love it when you converse in live streams. That's the difference between making a YouTube video and being able to do this at a set time every week where everyone comes together. Whether you've got a question about what I'm presenting, or whether or not you've got a problem with a project, whatever it is, feel free. Don't hold back. I love it when the conversation goes both ways. So please feel free to chat, and I can see people are doing that right now, which is amazing. And we've got 2 New Zealanders in the chat room right now, which is awesome. Now, for some people, they may be watching this after the live stream, and they may want to get involved. They may want to share a project or have a question. That's awesome. You can actually get in touch with us here at laser.livestream@gmail.com. It's a pretty easy email, and that's open. I've been getting quite a few emails from people right around the world sharing their projects. We're going to see some of that a little later. And of course, we have a Facebook group, which is at www.facebook.com/groups laser livestream. If you're not a member of that group already, I totally invite you to get involved. It's a great place to be able to put up images of your projects, or if you've got a question, there's a lot of really knowledgeable people, and as I said, we all pull together. Now, I do want to share one other thing that you can do to help support this stream. In the chat room, if you're here live, you can do a thing called a super chat. They're little super stickers. That's basically a donation to the channel. Or if you don't want to go through YouTube, and I know there's some people who feel that way too, if you look down in the description, there is a one-time donation link, which means you can go in there and you can donate a few dollars, or if you feel comfortable with a little bit more. All those donations that come in go straight into getting more material for the projects that I build, and also sharpening up this live stream. So if you feel that you want to do that, absolutely. We love not only the interaction, but every time someone goes, "Hey man, here's a super chat," or here's a one-off donation. For me, it's sending a message that you like what I'm doing, not just presenting, but you like this project altogether. So there's a number of ways you can get involved, whether you want to just chat or if you want to help the project out. Absolutely, there are ways you can do so. Going back to the chat room, everyone's talking about where everyone's from. New Zealand. You're just visiting a school with the Emblazer tomorrow. Otherwise, you live in Auckland. That's Bruce is going to a school to teach people how to use the Emblazer too. That's awesome. I love doing that sort of stuff. In fact, earlier this week, I was able to go and work with someone here in Melbourne who has an Emblazer too. I actually got to cut new material, which I'm going to talk about a little bit later on, and I actually got to see what they were using this laser technology for. And I love being able to empower people. I like empowering people to use lasers or any sort of technology that allows them to express themselves. So it is just incredibly awesome to be able to do that. Mike sharing that he lives in Brisbane, but your hometown is also in New Zealand. Oh, dude, man. Everything starts in New Zealand. You know why? You know why, right? It's Lord of the Rings, baby. That's all it is. Everyone's hobbits and golems. That's all, as far as I'm concerned. That's all I think New Zealand is. It's all like the trees and walking is in New Zealand. Prove me wrong. We'll see what happens. It's all kind of cool. All right, so let's keep going. Moving forward, let's talk about what we're going to do today. And I know we were running a little bit late, but, we got there. So what are we doing tonight? So first of all, we got the Emblazer User Showcase. We're going to show your work. We're going to see exactly what people have been up to this last 2 weeks. And there's one project here that just my jaw dropped. It's pretty awesome. I can't wait to show that to you. Well, then we also are going to do a deep dive into the library function in Lightburn. That's going to be really interesting. If you're using a standalone library, or if you want to create your own, I'm telling you right now, this is going to bring you up to speed on how to be able to create your own library settings and be able to make multiple libraries that you can load. I'm going to show that to you a little bit later on tonight. We're also going to go look at the good and the bad and the ugly of material and see what new material people would like to be able to go and explore. So that's what we're going to do tonight. It's a little compact. Usually we go a little longer, but that's okay. We're going to see how this next hour expands out. So why don't we just jump straight into it, and let's go and take a look at some of the Emblazer user works and see what people have been using their lasers to create. It's awesome, always. Let's go. Let's go. I see hobbits. People are already arguing about the hobbit. My precious hobbits. There you go. You know why? You know why I like lasers? So the hobbits don't steal my ring. I'm telling you. All right, let's go. Adrian, I saw Adrian just before. Adrian's in here. Adrian sharing with us these amazing coasters that he made at Tui's and a Great North Brewing. Adrian, again, you started off with using the image function and the engrave function on your laser, and every week we see new projects, new products. It is awesome to see, my friend. I really, really enjoy seeing what you create. Well done. I like those Tui's. Now, actually, let me just go back. That's a pretty good piece, but I also want to show this. This is Adrian's kind of portrait of the week. I realize, Adrian, you love boats and ships. There's so many ships that you show us being engraved on the Emblazer. I think this is a new one For a second there, I thought it might have been last week. But there you go. You can see the original image and the result that Adrian's getting. So it is incredibly awesome. Well done on that, Adrian. Dave Hopley, a new member to the Facebook group, also used his Emblazer to... this is an iconic Australian car, the old HR. This was a really, really nice piece. I'm not too sure if it's a stand-up piece or not, but I love the texture on the grill that he was able to get out of his machine. When I was a young lad, many moons ago, I remember these cars driving on the street. It was a completely different time and different era. It came very close to being a muscle car, this one. But well done on getting that result, Dave. I look forward to seeing the other things that you're going to create and share with us on the stream and in Facebook. Dave also is being a new laser user, decided he was going to use his laser to make his life a little bit easier. And here you can see that he's got a drill bit case. So you can see all the drill bits are measured out. I want to say measured out. They've got places, they've got tags of how big they are. It's, if you're ever drilling and working in a workshop, being able to get the right bit to make the right size hole can sometimes slow down your work and your production line. This is a really simple idea. It's a simple box. Here you go. You've got your sizes. You've got places to keep your drill bits. Very cool project. In fact, inspired me in a lot of ways to go out and actually try that myself. So again, Dave, they're the sort of projects before you get a laser, you go, what am I going to make? And then, you see them come alive and you're like, awesome. That is really, really cool. So very clever. Yes, I agree, Audrey. Very clever project. And Mike's liking the drill bit case is great. I really like that project. I think I'm going to have to go and do that. I've got a feeling Mike might do that as well. So well done, Dave. I hope you get to see all the feedback that everyone has on your projects. Well done. Then Mike, who's also here, got a little creative with his laser cutter and decided he was going to remind himself of certain things before he leaves home. So he started making these plates that he can place where the door handle is. And you can see here's another example. Whether he's shut the gate or whether he's left water out for the dog. What a great visual reminder that, uses the actual handle as a way of reminding yourself. Forget the post-it notes. I guess, what I was thinking when I saw this was, it's great for things that you want to remind yourself constantly, like the same thing over and over again. But I could just imagine Mike going, hang on a second, we can't leave. I've got to make a reminder first. And sitting there it's just another 20 minutes to cut through this MDF, but we'll be fine. I'm sure that's not going to happen, Mike, but in my twisted mind, I thought that might happen. But that's a really creative answer to remind yourself on what, to make sure that all the bases are covered before you head out or you close a door. Very creative, very out of the box. I expect now that we've shown it here that a whole bunch of people are going to be making and creating these sort of projects as well. So well done, man. Well done. Mike's also really been busy. He's been making some tiles using the Norton method. That's a method of actually spraying white paint on a white tile. The laser then scores the paint and then it etches that design straight onto the tile. I like the subject matter on this one. These are Star Wars tiles. How cool are those? You got an X-Wing, the Death Star, Boba Fett, and the Child. I don't know, which one of these things are not like the other. Does anyone have an idea which one sticks out? We'll see. We'll buy some time and see whether or not people can pick up the question and the motif here. But I really like the results. Black and white are used so well. And I saw this in a way that was just really, really cool. So you know what? I know that a lot of people are doing tiles. I'm looking forward. I don't want to challenge you, Mike, because I know you do a lot of exploring yourself. I want to see if you can do kind of like a photo using the Norton method. Now, I have my own method, not using white paint or not, but this is pretty amazing to see. And as I said, I love the subject matter there. Is absolutely. Hey, Jack, how you doing? Which one's incredible? Let us know. And do I know Candace? I'm not sure which Candace you're discussing, but maybe I do. I'm not too sure. Let's move on to the next project. Now, this is Elaine. If you remember, Elaine made an amazing Christmas gift, and she made a pair of scissors that she sent to her sister, and she basically made a box and the scissors themselves using the emblazer. Well, Elaine got in touch with me on email. That's right. And she sent me this, and this piano is a gift for her 21-year-old grandchild. And check this out. Look at the detail that's going on in this pretty amazing piano. You can see in the third picture, that's a matchbox right next door to the piano. So you can see the size of it. And when Elaine shows projects, she shows me the project. So I want to share with you the video she sent me. And you guys got to check this out. This is awesome. So here's the project. Now, what you're seeing here is this is actually the box. This is the box she sent that piano in. It's all engraved with messages and happy birthday. You know what? I wish my grandmother was this creative. Check this out. All the stats. She's 18. I thought it was 21. There you go. Silly me. It's 18th birthday. So there you go. Look at this. A work of love and such artistic. Look at this. It's all these stats. What was a hit TV show when she was born in 2003? This is just really awesome. And again, guys, this is just the box. This is not the actual item. And real creative use on one of those book hinges to open it up. I really want to get Elaine on here and talk to her. She doesn't really want to be interviewed, which is understandable. But I love her work. It's so creative. Check this thing out. So beautiful. Again, look at the detail for this piano. Is really beautiful. And there you go, crafted by Elaine for Grandma 2021. Happy birthday. And even a QR code, so maybe you guys can grab your phones and find out what that links to. But just amazing work, absolutely amazing work. Elaine, if you're watching here, I'm sure you are, blows me away every time I get an email from you. Your projects are incredible. It shows the versatility and the creativity that you can put into things like the emblazer. Mike, yeah, I agree with Mike. Mike's in the chat room saying the piano is next level. Absolutely. Audrey's sharing here that it's amazing as well. It is just so cool to be able to see those sort of projects come alive. And in fact, sharing that project with me has now kind of started the processes in my brain to say, how do I start incorporating other features in the things that I'm making? So I want to thank you for that, Elaine, as well as the fact that, these projects are just really, really awesome. And I agree with Mike. They're kind of a level up. It's kind of not, we don't challenge anyone or anything like that, but it's like, wow. And there's been a theme, music seems to be a theme the last couple of months, right? It's between Dominic showing us his auto xylophone or auto glockenspiel. I got to tell you guys, when I got the file and said auto Glock, I thought it was a gun and I thought he was going to win. I was like, dude, if you're making guns, man, I'm like, you win. But no, the auto Glockenspiel also had music that was playing automatically. And then you also have Elaine's amazing piano that also plays Happy Birthday, which is it's just so beautiful. Just so wonderful. So thank you. Please keep sharing your projects. We'll keep sharing them with everyone here on the Laser live stream. All right, so I know we started a little late, and I don't want to say I'm racing through things, but I do want to get through what we're going to do. So let's jump into using the libraries in Lightburn. So we're going to do a bit of a deep dive here, and that is the fact that we're going to use what is called the library or the materials library, and the library allows you to organize and store different material settings for your laser, which is great because It just means that with having all these different material settings on hand, you get to create your projects and workflows so much faster. And if you are someone who uses an Emblazer, there is a set of library settings that comes with the machine. So you have probably about 12 or 14 pieces of material that you can put in. Now, all material is not made equal. I have certain themes that I would love to drum into people's heads. So, one of them would be if you go and buy some plywood, if I buy it from Bunnings or I buy it from a laser specialty store, it's not going to be the same. But all these settings are great places to begin your journey. So unless you've tested the material before, use these settings, see what results you get out of them, and sometimes you have to modify them. I know that when I go to Bunnings, I can buy plywood 1 week, cut perfectly through it, and then a new shipment comes in, and it's like a completely different result. But as I said, most of the times it cuts through. These are settings that are worked out from the people at Darkly Labs, and it is just kind of an awesome thing that they hand you kind of like the keys to different materials straight away. But what happens if you don't have a material, or maybe it's not in the settings, or maybe you've worked out the settings yourself, but you write them into a book, but I want to put them into Lightburn so they're always there? Well, we're going to go through and show you all of that, just to let you guys know that the material library is found in the bottom bottom right hand side. There's 2 tabs. One is the library tab and one is the laser tab. The laser tab is where you actually start running the job and you using things like the frame, but on the other tab, that's where the library can be found. Now, earlier today, I went and hooked up all my equipment, and I realized that the way my computer shares its screen with everyone here as a live stream, that the bottom right hand side didn't show all the options. So with permission, I'm going to play a video and talk over the top of it, and I did that just before we went live. So I make some mistakes, but I'm going to share those mistakes with you, because if I make those mistakes, other people will probably end up falling in the same kind of hole, and we'll both get out of it as quickly as possible. So let's jump to the video, and I will share it with you how you can create your own library settings and how you can use those library settings in your jobs. All right, so here we are. Cool, we're still here. So you can see I've just created a box, and you can see over there you've got an acrylic setting, and usually they come with 3 different types of settings. One's a fill, one's an image, and one's a line. And you can assign those by clicking the assign button and then clicking up that cut layer. And if you were fast enough, you'd actually see that that layer changed its power and max power and speed number. So and you can see in here when you double click it, it comes up with all the different options. So we're going to pick the image. Well, it's not going to do an image now. Let's try the fill again. There we go. And it just jumped to 1,000. And we're going to change it to a line cut now. And you can see there, it just jumped to 180. So that's a way of knowing that you've assigned it properly. Now we go down, you've got things for balsa wood, you got card, corrugated cardboard, felt, this is natural felt synthetic. Now I have foam sheet because I cut a lot of EVA, so I have foam sheet, and I have another setting for white because white reflects a lot of energy, leather, MDF, paper, so different grades of paper are also come standard. Then there's plywood like birch, eucalypt, generic, and popular. That's all the laser stuff. And then at the end, there's another one called rubber. So in my library right now rubber is something that you can't cut. I was using this as a test, but I was also showing you that I'll be showing you here how to remove and how to create a rubber setting. Rubber I have never tried in the laser, but it's a good way of just being sure. So right there, you can see that you just highlight them and remove them. And now we're going to actually create a setting in the library that we can save. And we just do that by clicking the create setting and the material type. We actually, because we was rubber before, we're going to create a material type for adamantium, which actually you could never cut, if anyone knows the reference there. And the very first one we're going to do is we're going to create a line. So we put that in the description, hit the OK button, And you can see here it creates a material, and underneath there the thickness was 1 mil, and there's our line command right there. By going back and editing the cut, it pulls up the cut settings, and we can adjust them accordingly. So in this case, I'm actually just saying that it's a line cut, and because adamantium is an unbreakable metal, speed, we're going to go down as low as possible. Now, I've done 2, but it defaults to 180, and I found that out the hard way earlier today. But because we have to do multiple passes to try and cut through, we put 28 as, again, a way of being able to visually understand what's going on, and we are assigning that. And I double-clicked it accidentally, and I think I got a little confused here because it didn't change. I thought the speed would be 2, but the slowest that the Emblazer can go is actually 180. So excuse me while I go through and try to work out exactly what's happening. Excuse me while I'm actually about to go cough my head off. Hang on a second. That's not good. Oh, okay, hang on a second. Let me turn my microphone off as I keep hitting buttons. Excuse me about that. So I'm just trying to... I got a little confused here. You got that reference in X-Men? Good for you, Audrey. So here I am. I'm actually just changed that again. I changed it to 280, so we've got a visual. And if you see here, you highlight what you want to share. I'm a little clicky today. Apply to the layer, and you can see here that it... What did it do? It went to 180 again. I was so confused about this. So be aware that when you start playing around with different settings, that it's not as easy to just work out what's going on. And here, I want to make a fill command, but I want to make that fill command, I'm going to actually clone another fill command and then copy it into the adamantium by changing the material name and actually editing the description to fill. So when you see that, when I say okay, it actually is now a fill command, and all I've got to do is change the speed and how many times it passes. And in this, I think I did it a little bit less. Instead of 20, there you go, 28. I think I brought it down a little bit, and we just max powered it again because of the fact that we're talking about a material that we couldn't cut anyway, so we're just using it as a simulation. But I find that the fastest way to create these settings is just to actually clone them or duplicate them into the new material that you want. It's a really fast way, and that way all you've got to really concentrate on is changing the power and the speed, and if you want to actually also do the passes. So once you've worked that out, you can put that in, and you can see we're building this adamantium library right now. So we're going to go back to Balsa. We've got a line, we've got the fill. We're going to do the same thing with an image. So we're going to duplicate that. All you got to do, again, as I said before, is just change the material name. So we're typing in adamantium, and under description, I am going to go and make that an image. You'll see that just popped up under adamantium, under 1 mil. Now, in this case, because we can't choose an image, this is probably the fastest way to create a new setting that works. So number of passes, you can also change the image mode. And I'm going to grab an image in a second to make sure that I can apply it and it's got the same images. Let's close up the Balsa. Now, I go, all right, we're going to go and use that art. I believe it's the art library. We set that up last time. So even I have to go, hang on, where is that? It's in the window. Let's go to the art library. Here it is. We're going to grab this Darkly Labs Hall of Fame graphic, which is, I believe, a JPEG. And we'll scale it down once I remember to put it on select. How many people do that? How many times do you use a tool and forget, oh, damn, I should be on select? We're just going to put it in there. Scale it down a bit. We'll highlight it and also use the align tools here just to make sure it's in the middle. Excellent. And now we're going to go to the image. We'll hit that align in layer, and now it's at 180. So we know that those settings work in the library, and it's that easy to be able to create your own set of library presets, which means that if you're using a material that's not standard, you can work it out and be able to add them into your own library. Now, the wonderful thing is that now we've got the adamantium, we're going to save that library, because if we get out of Lightburn and come back in, it's not going to be there. So hit that save as button. Now I'm going to change the title a bit to adamantium, and actually the only issue that I had with this was that you can't see the name up above, just underneath the library. So I'm going to try and load that up a few times, and nothing kind of really changed. So I'm going to save it again in a second as adamantium, and you'll actually see that the library itself, the name above where all those settings will actually change. And that's kind of really important, because if you're using multiple libraries in your workflow, you want to be able to change from a library, know which one you're working on. And if you have multiple libraries with different elements in them, they can be a little bit confusing. So I realized here, because we had such a large name, I couldn't get it to come out to display. So we saved it as adamantium, and you'll see in a second here, we'll load that library up. And again, it's just, if you haven't set up a library, I strongly suggest creating a directory in, let's say, a documents folder, and actually using those as your library, because it is awesome to be able to open up multiple libraries. And here you go. Here's the adamantium one. You can see it just popped up. There's the adamantium. And there's all our settings. So you can create as many options as you would like in the library. So if you're using, let's say, some material for a job, and you're only going to use it for a job, you can make a library just for those jobs, or you can continually create and expand the library in Lightburn. And this is one of the features that I love, really, really love in Lightburn. It is just such an awesome feature to have these libraries that you can instantly work out and instantly make. And you can see here, I'm actually making a brand new library. There's nothing else added. We're going to call it test. We're going to make the thickness 2 mil. And this is the line, and there you go. It's really that easy. So if you don't want to mess around with the library that you have from Darkly, or even the pre library that comes with Lightburn, if you're not using it in Blazor, you can just go and make a brand new library and start playing with these features, start applying them, see how they work. Here you go again. I'm just going in there, changing settings so that when I apply them, I can see that it's working. We're going to make that a line, and you'll see here we'll assign it. It becomes a line, and it all works. So that actually was a little bit of a different run through when it comes to library settings. We're going to go a little deeper in another live stream, but that's okay. Like I said, I apologize because of the fact that there was a not a technical issue, just the screen crushed and you wouldn't have been able to see all those numbers. But I've got a sneaking suspicion I might actually redo that as a standalone video. Let me know in the chat room. Was that helpful? Has anyone here actually created their own library settings within Lightburn? Have you modified maybe a setting in Lightburn? I've got a library where, depending on where the materials I get, I actually have a setting that is plywood Bunnings. And every time I get a new lot of plywood from Bunnings, I do a quick test, and then I always go in and modify that setting. So at least with the material that I have on hand, I know it'll be successful. And of course, the next time they get a shipment, maybe from a different distributor, I can always go back in there and change that up again. So definitely let us know. It'll be awesome to see if that's, if that was something that would actually help with being able to work through different materials on your machine. Mal's still here. Excellent. Yes, Mal, you're welcome. I did see you were heading out, but I'm glad you're here. Does Darkly or Lightburn update libraries and issue update files? Or is it a version update? Mal, I can't speak for Lightburn, but I do know that Darkly Labs do update their material library as they come across new materials. And there's a few versions. Usually they allow, if you go onto their website and you go into material libraries, they do have a link. It's like a Dropbox of sorts, and you can download the latest one and then just link it into Lightburn. So I definitely know that happens. And Mal's already done that. I have Radi ATA Ply. Oh, awesome. So you've been using, you create, so you know how that's geez, Mal, you just started with Lightburn. You're already making library things. It took me a bit of time to work that out. It's great to hear, though. I mean, again, I love that. I love that project, that library. And I'm actually realizing now that I can actually have libraries within a project file. So I can have all the files and then the library that I can load up without multiple settings in there. Just have a honed library just for that project if I've got to do multiples of it, and be able to go and work that out. In fact, I actually ended up buying, what was it that I bought? I bought some trolleys, and I have the settings written on a piece of paper. I've got to go and I think I'm going to have to work those settings out and put it into my library, because I really like that trolleys. I really do. Except for the white backing. It takes a little bit longer, a few more passes to cut through, but you can get it to work. So they're definitely things that I think you guys should explore. All right. Usually I put way too much information into these things. This time we're cooking with gas here? What are we looking at? Oh, we're doing okay. Let's go to the good, the bad, and the ugly. We're going to go and work out. We're going to go look at some material. We're going to change this up on recommendation. Instead of looking at the good, the bad, and the ugly, we're going to look at one material. This week we're going to look at a good material, or a material that I was just introduced to a couple of days ago. So let's go and take a look at that. So the material of the week we're looking at is leather. I got a chance to actually go and cut 2.5 mil leather today. Oh, it wasn't today. It was a couple of days ago. Never done it before. To my surprise, that's one of the material settings that does come in the Darkly Labs material library. It cut through really well, really easily. So leather is an organic material that can be cut and engraved with a laser. And you can see the example there of an engraving on a wallet, or I think it's a notebook. I'm pretty sure they probably would have cut out the parts for the notebook as well. And now, something I learned was that leather usually has a raw side and a wax side. And if we tried on both sides, we tried the raw side of the leather and it came out a little bit jagged, but we then cut it on the wax side. And my goodness, it came out as such a clean cut. The only thing that we noticed was the kerf of the laser was missing. It was almost perfect cut. I don't know whether the actual material shrunk a little bit, but it was an incredibly satisfying experiment. And it does cut extremely well, but be sure to know what your leather has been treated with before you use it in your laser. Not all leathers are made equally, as I always mention. So some examples of what you can do with leather. You can see here that on the first example, they're actually cutting braiding out on leather sheets with a laser, which is pretty amazing. There's a flask holder there, and you can see this intricate pattern. I don't even know how you'd have to make a die or something to do it manually, but of course the laser works out really beautifully in that way to be able to go and create that sheath for the flask. And then I saw these really great examples of these leather tags that were engraved. So you can again see kind of the way you can engrave some lettering on, and also cut out the pieces with, I've got a feeling that this is probably like a leather jacket label, obviously size L. Really, really good examples of what you can actually do with these things. And again, leather in a laser also produces a really strong smell when it's cut, and it is safe as long as it's not treated with any toxic chemicals. So it is on your onus to know what the material has been treated with. Now, we were doing it in a room. We weren't ventilated, and I did kind of feel like someone had just poured a little bit of citrus juice up my nose. Let's put it that way. I wasn't feeling lightheaded or anything like that, but my nasal passage as such were definitely aware, and that wore off very quickly after we aired out the room. But so just be aware that if you are going to cut leather, you want to make sure that it's in a room that has lots of good ventilation. And if you've got an Emblazer 2, the settings to cut leather for a 2.5 mil piece is the speed is at 200 mils per minute. The power is at 100, but you do have to take 4 passes to get through. And that is like a pretty amazing way to actually create using a material like that. Now, leather seems to be quite expensive. I don't have any at hand, but it was really cool to be able to put it into a machine, and especially the emblazer, and be able to see the results of what it was that we were actually creating. So, if I had a project that needed to use leather pieces, I would have no problem, no gumption whatsoever to go and take some leather and put it into the machine. I do want to share with you though that there are leather-like materials for like bags and jackets called pleather. Pleather is a form of PVC, and we know that PVC is made up of chlorine. So just make sure to test your material, and if you haven't seen how to test that, I've got a video on that. You can actually use a piece of testing material and put it into a flame. And if you don't have those materials, keep your eyes peeled, because I'm actually putting together some kits, and we'll be talking about how you can get one of these kits on the laser live stream, have it by your laser, and anytime you're using a piece of material that you don't know its origins or how it's made up, you can use this kit to do a quick test. It takes less than 20 seconds, and you have a good idea whether or not, at the very least, it's made up of chlorine. So make sure if you are going to use leather, use real leather. I actually saw someone who wanted to engrave like a leather notebook, but it was like a large one. They wanted to put someone's name on it. They wanted to put it into a laser. I happened to be there. I happened to have one of these test kits with me that I was trialing. We quickly did a test. We heated up the wire. We touched it in the leather on the inside boundary, so there was no marks that anyone would see. We put it in the flame, and it came up green, and it worked out that leather covering on that notebook wasn't real leather. And everyone involved was like, wow, damn, like what would have happened if we put it in there? Probably nothing to us, because it would have been a very quick engrave, but that chlorine does then attach itself to the electronics of the machine, and probably would have killed it over some time. So again, if you want to be safe, definitely make sure you know what you're putting in your laser cutter. It's just that simple. Awesome. Guys, the last couple of weeks, we didn't get a chance to have the audience ask any questions. I just don't want to open it up now really quickly before we wrap up the show. Is anyone working on anything, or does anyone have any questions about some of the things that we presented? Please let me know. Love it when, as I said, when you guys interact. I know it's been a little bit kind of hectic because of the late start on this video, but we are going to finish on time this time, so it's going to be pretty cool. But I wanted to make sure that if there was any questions on anything that has either been presented here today, or maybe you've got a question about using your machine, now is definitely the time to be able to go and hang out and I don't know, just ask. And if not, that's also super cool. So the one thing that these live streams for me, I'm just filling in time here. The lag between it coming from my camera and computer coming to you and then going into the chat room takes a little bit of time. And I got to remind myself all the time that I need to be able to give you guys time to reply before I move on to something else. So it's kind of cool. Radi Atara is a type of pine tree. Okay, Mel, I've never seen that before. Is that the material you're using to engrave on? Let me know. Mike had to go. That's all right. That's not a problem. I guess you guys were leaving JB Hi-Fi, but that's also awesome. Jack never got back to me about Candace. I'm not too sure who Candace is, but if I know them, I'll let you know. Sounds like everyone's pretty cool with questions. If they do come up, that's not a problem, but we are going to wrap up. If you're working on something, maybe you've got some questions, but you weren't able to make it to the live stream. Maybe you would like a little bit of one-to-one tuition. Just to let you guys know that we are doing virtual classes and one-on-one tuition. I did some of it this week with some people. Those sessions are now open. If you're interested, please send me an email at laser.livestream@gmail.com. Those tuitions, just kind of working with one-on-one with people it's just amazing to see what you guys are creating. It really is. And it's a real honor for me to be kind of that little link that gets you to the results that you really want. That's really what I wanted to say. So thank you so much with all of that. This week, again, I love being here. I'm going to see you guys in 2 weeks' time. So, you know what? Those 2 weeks go like that for me. I don't know if they go that way for you, but they definitely go that way for me. Next Laser Livestream, we're going to be talking to Jason, the man behind Lightburn. I was going to say the Laser Livestream. No, Lightburn. So definitely come out and hang out with us while we go through a whole bunch of questions and we find out what was the birth of Lightburn in incredible ways. Guys, I want to thank you so much for hanging in there. The whole world is going through some really interesting stuff right now. If you're in Australia, I totally get what's going on. Oh, my heater finally turned on. I totally get that we're either being locked down and it's a stressful time. Definitely jump onto your laser. Go create something that's amazing and then share it with us either through the email, the Facebook group, or here on the live stream. Guys, I will see you in 14 days for some more laser live stream. And until then, go and just make something that's really, really awesome. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm going to share it with you in 14 days. Until then, I'll catch you later. My name is Gil Posnanski, and I will see you for the very next laser live stream right here. Go make something amazing. I'll catch you later.